The Man Who Smiled at Failure, inspirational story. He swept the cafe floor with a smile that didn't match his shoes. They were torn, faded, the soles flapping with every step. His coat was 2 sizes too big, his beard unkempt, and his eyes. Those were the only part of him that didn't belong to the street. Sharp.
Calm. Knowing.
Customers whispered. One man laughed as he took a selfie with him in the background. Look at this guy. Still smiling like life's a joke. They had no idea who he was, or what he had walked away from. Every evening, after closing, he sat at the same table in the corner, notebook open, sketching shapes and patterns that looked meaningless to everyone else. To the waitstaff, he was just the harmless drifter.
Kind.
Quiet.
Odd.
But they didn't know he once stood in front of a crowd of 30,000, pitching an idea that could have changed the world. And failed. Not just once. Over and over. A decade ago, he had been the prodigy everyone wanted. His face graced tech magazines. Investors lined up with checks. He had a reputation. The man with impossible ideas. His vision? A device that could translate human emotions into color, meant to revolutionize therapy, communication, even art. But one glitch. One failed live demo. And the world turned its back. Headlines mocked him. The genius who glitched. Overhyped, underwhelming. Within months, contracts were pulled, friends disappeared, families stopped answering. Investors called him a fraud. No one believed he could come back from it. He lost everything. But instead of fighting back, he smiled. People thought he'd gone mad. Some even said he welcomed failure like it was an old friend. But the truth was darker and more profound. He had seen something no one else did. A flaw in the system. A blind spot that, if fixed, would change not just his invention, but the very way people understood themselves. So, he disappeared. Not into exile. Into the noise. He chose to live among the overlooked, the broken, the ignored. For years, he wandered from city to city, volunteering at shelters, working odd jobs, living out of a bag. Not because he had to, but because he wanted to understand people where the world forgot to look. And the more he listened, the clearer his designs became. He started building again, but not in labs. In abandoned libraries, subway platforms, public parks. He used recycled tech, cardboard, anything he could salvage. And he kept smiling, because every failure was progress in disguise. Then came the bookstore, a small, dusty shop barely hanging on. The owner let him sleep in the stockroom in exchange for cleaning and occasional help with customers. It was there, in the back room lined with yellowed encyclopedias and forgotten poetry, that his invention, reborn, came to life. But this time, he didn't tell anyone. Until the boy arrived. 7 years old. Nonverbal, diagnosed with selective mutism. His mother brought him in every Friday. One day, the man offered the child a small device, no bigger than a matchbox. Lights blinked. Colors danced. The boy smiled. And then he spoke. Just one word. But it shattered a silence that had haunted his mother for years. The bookstore owner filmed it, posted the clip online. It exploded. Thousands of messages poured in. Parents, therapists, doctors, investors. The world wanted to know who created the device. The video was shared by celebrities, featured in viral compilations, even debated on news panels. But the man? He kept sweeping floors, smiling, quietly observing the chaos, until a former rival showed up at the door. This man had mocked him on national TV years ago, called him a delusional dreamer. Now he begged for a partnership. What do you want? He asked, desperation leaking through his designer suit.
Money? Control?
We'll market it globally. Just say the word. And the man, still smiling, said, I want you to fail. Like I did. So you finally learn how to see people, not numbers. He declined every offer. Instead, he uploaded the full blueprint of his device online for free. No patents. No branding. Just access. People said it was foolish. But a week later, university students in 5 countries improved the design.
Clinics adopted it.
Independent developers created apps that expanded its reach. Within a month, his invention helped over 200,000 people communicate emotions they never could before. All because one man smiled at failure and kept walking. But the story didn't end there. One night, a man in a suit sat beside him at the cafe. He spoke quietly. "We've traced the IP. We know who you are." The smiling man looked up, unfazed. "We want to make a film about your life. Your invention. Your journey." The man shook his head. "Make it about the failures, not me." The producer leaned in. "Why?" He answered without hesitation. "Because failure isn't the end. It's the door most people are too afraid to open." He stood, left a napkin on the table. On it was one last message. Sometimes, you have to lose everything to find the part of yourself that can't be taken away. And just like that, he walked into the night, coat flapping in the wind, smiling. No one knows where he is today. But the colors he created still ripple across the world, lighting the lives of people who never knew they could be seen.